Hey, yo, what's up? This is Ice-T representing for Hype Magazine. Stop playing.
Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome to another live session with the Hype Magazine. I'm your editor-in-chief, Dr. Jerry Dobie, and this Saturday evening, man, I've got a distinct honor of having a luminary activator on the positive mental tip in the line of business, entrepreneurship, music, media, goes by the name of Monsta Yo. Y'all know his Gov, Ladaro, Monsta Yo, Pennix II. The man is a driving force behind the YANA suicide prevention hotline. It's a major accomplishment. He's got collabs in the music industry alongside Snoop, Xzibit, the OG Kokane, and more, plus a background in martial arts, publishing, film. His journey is nothing short of inspiring. Get ready for this in-depth conversation. This is going to be fun. It's going to be about music, business, resilience, and the power of using your platform for change. Monsta Yo, welcome.
Man, peace, King. Peace to you. Yes, sir. Man, how you doing?
I'm amazing. I'm always amazing.
I mean, we know you're amazing. You're extraordinary. And I'm honored to be on this platform with you. Truly honored. This is a long time in the making. I like this right here. Yes, Lord.
I appreciate you. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here with you. You know what I mean? Like I said, life has tried that BS, but here we are triumphant, regardless of what has been thrown at us. So,
Teach.
And I'm honored to have the opportunity
Yes, sir.
to share time with you. So I'm gonna respect your time because it's very valuable. And let's just kick it off. Everybody, the cat, uncle, and dog in the culture from the East Coast to the West Coast has had some experience or some knowledge of Monsta Yo because of the footprint from, more than 15 books on the self-help tip, on the internal reflection tip, my favorite to all my loved ones, that, if you ever stomp through a section, you feel me? Y'all understand what's what. So anyway, let me stop talking because I need you to tell your story. I want you to start and tell us from the inside looking out how you see Monsta Yo. Or if
that's deep.
Called by your Gov, then let me know that too.
No, my name, this is my entertainment name, Monsta Yo.
Right.
My government name is Ladaro Jerome Pennix II. But I want to say this, that on the inside looking out, I don't see what everybody else sees. I'm working hard because God put this in me. The Creator put this in me. Allah, Buddha, whatever you believe in your spiritual deity, that's what's inside of me. And it moved me the minute I had the impact of knowledge of self. That's what changed me, and it didn't start. This transformation didn't take place overnight. It took many earth angels that were placed into my life that gave me this moment of clarity, these moments of clarity, for me to realize, like, wait a minute, this repeat life of error that I've been entertaining has to change. You know what I'm saying? And so what I see is me just working hard. I don't see the celebrity. I don't see what all of you guys see. I'm just driven to create generational wealth. When I started in here, for those who don't know my circumstance, I've been incarcerated since I was 16 years old. I come from Long Beach, California. In Long Beach, California, I was raised in an environment where, just like anybody's ghetto, we had that same antisocial behavior, that same getting caught up in the hype, trying to be somebody. And I was one of them. I was always a protector. I've never liked bullies, and that was my thing. I was bullied when I was a kid, and And when my family started teaching me martial arts and I realized that I had a little squabble on me, I said, wait a minute, it's time for me to show these bullies what I'm capable of, and so I utilized that as my way of getting in the in crowd, if you will. And my hands became noteworthy, and so throughout my journey in life, first off, let me backtrack. I grew up in an abusive home as well. And so growing up in an abusive home, I was broken in the home. Being broken in the home is what led me to the streets. I had a father that was crazy. I had a father that was sick. Every time he took that alcohol, he became someone different. He beat everybody in the home. He was a pedophile. He was all that. And so it really messed up a lot of our mentalities, our mind state inside the home. He tried to make us weak inside the home, but he wanted us to be strong in the public. And so I would take that hostility and negativity that he created and generated in me onto my society. And I wreaked havoc trying to find myself. And I found myself in the street life of gangs on the east side of Long Beach. That was the beginning of my journey. At age 16, I ended up committing some crimes. One of my crimes is protecting my homegirls, and lives were taken. These lives, which I truly regret, started a war. A big war. To this day, that war still exists. And, it's crazy because as the man that I am today, I think back on all the lives that have been lost on both sides. That is the thing that affects me the most because it's created a generational curse. When I came in here, it was, I'm on my high horse. I'm protecting my homegirls. I'm this, I'm that. But when I sat back and thought about it, why was I in that situation? Why did they call me to that situation? The same homegirls I protected was the same homegirls that got on the stand on me. Go figure. So I ended up receiving 4 life sentences plus 74 years. I was sent straight to prison. From juvenile hall to the juvenile module in the county jail, then straight to prison. Hitting the prison yards at now the age of 17 was one of the most dramatic things of my life. I was scared to death, didn't know what to do. All these veterans that knew way more than me, all these predators all around me. One thing I did know is I was not going to be a victim. And so I learned everything about prison. I've been again having the elders teach me everything they knew, every strategy, every combat, every weaponry, whatever. They infused me with all the knowledge, right? And I became a warrior of prison. I became a beast, if you will, at one time. And unfortunately, that would soon lead me to spending 17 years in solitary confinement, 17 years straight. And that's when my life began to change. You got to realize that when you're sent to solitary confinement, you're no longer that individual that can just be or do things as at your will. You're doing things at their will on a whole nother scale. Don't get me wrong. Back then, they did have these things called group yards. So they had the gladiator fights. At one time, they had the thing where you could walk to showers. So all of a sudden, mysterious doors will pop open. You'll have to protect yourself there. But for the most part, you're by yourself. You're thinking. You're trying to figure things out. You can't move. You're stuck. And being stuck there, I was fortunate enough to be around individuals who saw my potential. They kept telling me, man, slow down. There's something about you that's different. We see it. The way you move, the way you think, the way you behave, the way you respond. And at the time, I didn't see it. But they started flooding me with books, flooding me with assignments, having me write essays, having me just explore my potential. My mother doing the same thing, refusing to let me lose myself in this environment. And sure enough, one day I started writing poetry, I remember, and I sent a bunch of poetry to my mother. And my mother said, "Wait a minute, you got something." And I said, "What do you mean?" She says, "No, you got something." And I'm not like I'm like I'm kind of bewildered because I'm thinking, what is she saying? I'm just speaking from the heart, right? But she saw something more. She saw something more deep than I saw, and sure enough, she then began to encourage me to write books.
Okay.
And that's when the momentum of writing books. At first, I was kind of hesitant. And so my mother introduced me to Big Tookie, rest in peace.
Peace.
And I was able to correspond with him through her. And he was encouraging me. I had so many encouraging earth angels. Then I was also around Little Tookie, his son, and him and I used to build, and other strong warriors. And what happened was is that I just kept writing, I kept building, and sure enough, I ended up producing my first children's book called Sugar for My Granny.
Okay.
And that became the first edition and momentum of my books, right? And once I got the children's books out the way, I then graduated. You know, my mother said, "Hey, let me challenge you. I want you to write this suspense thriller book about a female serial killer who has an alter ego." I know, right? Hey, this can only come from a woman, right?
Real talk.
She said, "I want you to write this story about a female serial killer who has an alter ego. And the alter ego is a dude that's in love with her. And anytime she gives her heart to somebody, or anytime someone hurts her, her alter ego comes out and sets them on fire. Hence the name Love Torch Seductive."
Oh, wow.
That's the name of the book, right? It's a good book. It's a short read, but it's a good book. And I end up putting it together. And I didn't like the edit version, but the original version, how detail specific I was. Mind you, the location resided in Connecticut, and I had never been to Connecticut. So I had to get the almanac. I had my mother send me clippings, and I had to just draw from that.
Okay.
And if you read the book, you would swear that I lived in Connecticut my whole life. Never set foot out there.
Hey, some of you journalists, pay attention. This brother is talking about detail, journalistic integrity, journalistic principles. Go find the facts. Make it real, instead of playing.
Speak on it. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. And so, and then, you know, from there, I began to get into my academics. And I just really submerged myself in academics. I started studying theology. I started studying psychology. I started studying communication. And eventually I ended up getting my degrees. I got a degree in communication, a degree in liberal arts. I have a degree in psychology where I graduated cum laude. I got a doctorate in theology. And so, you know, I made it happen. After I made it happen, by the time everything was done, I finally made it up out of solitary confinement. Now it's my next journey. I had never spent more than 6 months on a main line out there in general population. So I had to learn how to adapt to the people around me. I was so used to isolation and sensory deprivation that now I had to be around a bunch of people. And that was a whole nother mind trip, right? And so I had to learn how to deal with people, how to adjust to people. And I just set in my mind that no matter what, I'm going to make it this time. You know, here it is. I done spent all this time in solitary confinement. It's kind of like a Rocky movie. You go into training to fight Apollo Creed or Clubber Lang or the Russian, and you go in there and you show up. You don't go in there and you fall short, right?
Right.
And so here it is. I came with all this training and all this knowledge, and I brought it to the main line. Once I got it to the main line, I began to share the benefit of my knowledge to these young kings, because I realized that it was my duty and obligation as a conscious mind to start really giving back to my community. You know what I'm saying? It's the community starts first with self. the mind, body, soul. Then it starts with the people around you. Then it goes abroad, beyond the walls. But I had to start with my community. If I wanted a healthy community, I had to live healthy. If I wanted a positive community, I had to be positive, and I had to lead by example. And that's what I've been doing since I've been out here on these main lines. I've been showing them how to be their best selves and not accept their self-limiting beliefs, but only embrace their self-freeing beliefs, knowing what their potential is. And that's what I've been doing.
And you've been giving people opportunities. I've been checking out the West Coast version of Scrilla Guerillaz, the magazine. You give great editorial support to stories and business people and entertainers and personalities from all walks. You give them opportunity to shine and learn. And then you yourself have dropped, been featured and dropped some gems, you know what I mean, about your journey and the change in mindset. You know, a lot of people think, you know, the hole or the shoe is just a punishment, you know what I mean? But it's an opportunity to meet yourself. Sometimes you're forced to meet yourself because literally you have nobody else. You know what I mean? You also, like you said, when they pop the doors, your manhood, you know what I mean, and your warriorship is sometimes, you know, tested, and therefore you got to stand your ground, hold your mud, so to speak. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's, you know, I could speak on so many wars that I've been in, but everybody knows my wars.
Right.
You know, I have paperwork to show my wars.
Right.
You know, a lot of people, they talk about these war stories and how tough they are and how big they are or what they were, and they weren't nothing. They sat there and had a big mouth. You know, for myself, I am a warrior. I've been a warrior, and I no longer try to be who I used to be. So I don't glorify that.
Right.
You know, what I do is I do use my legacy. I use what I've created as a way to attract the young minds, because if they know you're a warrior, they're more inclined to listen to your wisdom, the benefit of your knowledge. It's even in my music. I speak certain languages that they can relate to. So when they listen to my music, they be like, huh, yeah, he a gangster, he tough. But then when they hear me speak, they're like, wait a minute, I got bamboozled a little bit, but I'm gonna listen to this knowledge. You know what I'm
saying? Yeah. So like listening to you, and I'm old. I've seen a few things, I've heard a few things, and you know, lived through some things.
Right.
But when I watch your beacon, your lighthouse on the shore, you know what I mean? I'm seeing, you know, the guidance that you're providing to those that are navigating, you know, nighttime waters real close to the coral reef, about to get towed back, you know.
Right.
The lessons that you're teaching, you maintain a calm, and you know, you have your finger on the pulse of multiple enterprises, and you're making an impact. I'm watching the support when you decide that the network needs to support a certain movement or an artist. I see how the community, your community, is galvanized to move as a unit in a positive direction. It's all about positivity. I listen to some of the gems, the morning gems as well, you know, and
Yes,
I'm up at, you know, 2-3 o'clock in the morning, scrolling through, getting my day started, you know what I mean? And I have run across some things that have lifted me up, you know, in the dark hours. I'll be going through it too, y'all. Don't get it twisted, you know. But your journey, besides what you're doing now, has spanned multiple industries: hip hop, publishing, business, martial arts. How are you balancing all these passions while staying true to your individual purpose?
Okay, so, and that's a great question. You know, some people, they can do one thing at a time and get it done effectively. But there's other people in this world that have this thing called organized chaos. I'm good with organized chaos. I can have a lot of things going on and I see it all like the Matrix. Again, for me, it's like the moment I had that moment of clarity, the moment I had that knowledge of self, everything became clear. it felt like I ended up taking that pill that awoke in me from my enslavement. And then what happened was I started seeing all the mathematics all around me, the language of life all around me. You know, everybody says, what's the secret of life? You know, the reality is the only secret of life, well, the real secret of life is knowing thyself. To thy own self be true. Once you know self, you become the architect of your own destiny. Now you shape and mold it to what you want it to be. You see, in the Bible, it talks about gods. All ye are gods. Every time they spoke on man as God, the G was in a lowercase, basically saying, yeah, you're not omnipotent, omnipotent, nor omnipresent, but what you are the God and the creator of your life. Now, how you live that life is your choice because it's your journey. You get one life, one life. You either do it right or you fail yourself. Well, we go through a process when we first develop. We go through the process of unknowing. Then we go through the process of insecurity. Then we go through the process of courage. Then we go through the process of being in the know. Once you're in the know, there is no stopping you. There should be no stopping you. But a lot of people, they have this arrested development. That's why I'm so adamant to teach these young kings, because you have these individuals who are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, still trying to be 16, still trying to be 20 something. Why are you trying to be 20 something and 16? You're an OG. They're supposed to be ascending to you, not you descending to them. And I never understood that. Mind you, our elders failed us and we failed our young ones. But the moment of clarity, that is when we change the game and say, you know what? I'm not going to fail my young ones no more. So I'm around here making sure that my young ones know the truth. This is not the life to be. The decisions that we make are flawed. They were created by kids, designed by kids to do reckless things, adolescent things. We didn't know how to take accountability, but now that we do, we have to put away our childish things and move accordingly as a man.
Right.
And that's what I push.
Okay. Yeah, you very succinctly described the three stages of life: the thinker, the knower, and the doer.
Yes, sir.
We start out, we think we know what we're doing. We think we know what we signed up for. We think, we have the answer.
Right.
And then here comes the, F around and find out moment.
Mm-hmm.
And now you didn't know, and now you
God.
know. Life starts lifing, and your circuit, your karma, your cosmic penalty or benefits come to roost. And from those experiences and that elevation, you become the doer, and you are either going to do it right or you're going to do it wrong. You mentioned earlier about, your thought process in breaking your internal cycle of repeating the same mistakes. It's a difficult thing, oftentimes for young people. I was young once, so don't get it twisted. It's a universal principle that youngsters take less accountability and put more, on the blame. Or if that circumstance, but Ninja, you the one who did the do. Step up, take responsibility, and correct your error. You have a leader here, a gem of a man in Monsta Yo, who is, in abundance, giving the benefit of his experience and employing a very sharp set of skills to navigate a maze on multiple industries in a situation that is not even designed to let him breathe freely and at will. These are soldiers. There are soldiers. There, like Shrek said, there's layers. There's soldiers. You got to show enough warriors, and the warriors go the extra mile. Those are the cats that get the, and ladies who get, the Medal of Honor. And it doesn't matter the circumstances where you get it. I'm giving it to you right now, Playboy, because this, you know, what you do for others is inspirational. Even old heads like me, when I get frustrated and get irritated to the point where I don't want to fool with this no more, you know, I'm going, yeah, you know, you got a responsibility. Yeah, you're gonna go live up to your responsibility. You haven't shirked it to this point. Go and step up. And I get energy early in the morning sometime, you know, from checking out your clips. Now look, we got to talk about, you know, Scrilla Guerillaz West, the label, the magazine, the brand, and how you have brought that, you know, from the streets to the suites, so to speak. It's an impactful platform that offers opportunities, tools, and resources for those trying to navigate the entertainment industry. Talk to me a bit about how that came to be and what's going on with it moving forward.
Okay, so about 15 years ago, my business partner, Lord Days, decided to create Scrilla Guerillaz. He created it on the East Coast, and it was a bunch of his partners who came together and they wanted to be street millionaires. So that's where the term Scrilla Guerillaz came from. You know, we getting this from the streets, you know, and you know, they created an amazing enterprise, if you will. And my little brother, Real Sinatra, collaborated with them, and they started to build this empire. And sure enough, I ended up coming into the folds. When I came into the folds, immediately Days and I clicked. We share so many common things when it comes to not just business, but ethics, morals, and how we push. And one day he just realized I need to be the face of the West Coast. And so he blessed me with having the West Coast, Scrilla Guerillaz West.
Okay.
And I became CEO of Scrilla Guerillaz West. And together, we've been building up this empire, if you will. Now, Scrilla Guerillaz is not just a magazine company. It's not just a podcast. It's not just we're not just the common entertainment company. You know, we provide resources, a variety of resources to get your career, to take your career to the next level. We also take businesses to the next level. We are a company that really cares about our artists. We really care about our clients. We do them the best. We give them the best service for the least amount of money. Now, who does that? Usually it's the other way around.
Yeah, people getting hit over the head, Jack.
Nothing, right?
They getting hit over the head for nothing.
For us, I only agreed to accept my position as CEO of Scrilla Guerillaz West if I could control it the way I wanted to do it. When I came into this industry, it was hard. I had to grind. I had to fight. I had to climb, and I didn't like how I had to go through things. I couldn't stand the lying, the backbiting, the nonsense. And I said, I'm gonna do it my way. And so from here on out, what I did was I said, you know what? Let me treat every artist the way they deserve to be treated. But they have to show up. If they don't show up, they don't get our grind.
Run, you know what I'm saying? That back. The work don't end because you get signed or pulled into a team. Run that back.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And you are not a successful artist if you cannot bring a crowd. I don't care how good you are lyrically. I don't care how well your performance is. If you cannot bring an audience in the entertainment world, you're not that good of an artist. And the reason why is because it's about money. What gives you value is the crowd that you bring. So I'm also a club promoter. So if you come to me and say, hey, I want to perform at your club, but I want you to pay me such and such. If you don't bring a crowd, I'm going to laugh at you. Because you're not making me money. Why would I pay you and you're not going to make me money? So you want me to spend money for what? Lose money for a crowd I'm not going to get? Not at all. You have to work for yourself. Build your own crowd. Build your own team. Even if it's not a real crowd, Build up your own credit. Get a bunch of your friends. Say, when I pull out here, I want y'all to show up. We'll do this at least 3 or 4 times. This is going to show that I bring a crowd. Then that next venue, guess what? Now you can say, well, look, them last 3 venues I went to, I brought this crowd right here. I want to be paid this, this, this. Know your worth. Create your worth. That's what it's all about.
Put the work in, create your worth. And don't be silly. You know, if you know you can't pull the 50 people, don't try to book yourself into a crowd, a place that holds 1,500, and try to be the headliner with 50 people. Go to somewhere that holds like 200 people. Bring your 50 people and do your thing. And you don't even have to be the headliner, but you brought 50 people. And how you make friends with the promoter is your 50 people need to stay the entire show. Get their
And the minute your 50 people, the minute the promoter knows that was your 50 people, guess what? You will be the headliner in his next event.
Yeah.
You will be. Even if you don't bring the 50 people next time, you're going to be the headliner.
Yeah.
Because he's going to see dollar signs.
Dollar signs. They spend money. They ordered food. They had drinks. You know what I mean? They partied. They supported the night. They supported the night. So you, as the artist, as the personality, comedian, whatever, have brought value to the venue and that promoter. You've made them look good because the cash register with beep, 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 or cha-ching, if you still using those. Dollar signs regardless. You feel me? And then, you know, so the music, the promotion, like I said, this man is offering opportunities, tools, and resources for people to feed their families off of this craft in multiple genres. He has mentioned earlier on that he uplifts businesses as well with the consultings. They, you know, increase brand awareness, digital footprint, notability, all these things.
We get you on billboards. We get you in blogs, publications. Not only that, but we also get you on the red carpet and the Oscars, the Emmys, the billboard. We make you become a real celebrity. Yeah. What we do is we invest in you the way you should be invested in. Mm. We turn you into the celebrity, but it goes back to you have to continue to put in your own work. You have to show up.
I'm a witness. I watched him take a young lady and she, you know, came out of the blue and ended up on the carpet at the Oscars. You know, like real stuff. Young lady. I believe I wrote a little piece on her. And I can't remember her name.
Dominique. I believe it's
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wrote a little piece on her and it was just like a proud moment, you know, to share the success of something that came from a Black-owned company. This is Black History Month. Every day is Black History, though. You know what I mean? Every day we have young lions out there who have flipped the script and become successful entrepreneurs and are proving they know what it takes to elevate a burgeoning artist or personality's career. Red carpet at the Oscars is not a bad thing.
Not at all. Not at all. And shout out to Mr. CEO Maestro, who was one of my other business partners out of Global Billboards. You know, he's the one that introduced us all to Dominique, and we just been thriving ever since. That woman is amazing. She is very talented. She is dedicated. And what I love about this woman is, one, she knows herself. Two, she works harder than me. Mm. Mm. Respect.
I got to correct myself. It was the Emmys. It was the
Emmys. Yeah, you're right about that. Yes, sir.
Not the Oscars, and that was my fault. But I was excited to see the process and the participants that were making it happen for this classy young lady, dynamic young lady, young woman. You know, I don't want to get in trouble, but you know what? Screw y'all, because this is my show, and I'm 61, and I'm gonna say it the way I damn well please. And you just take that and go and put that in your pipe and smoke that. I'm good. Holler at your boy. You can't do nothing about it.
I love it. Straight up. We grow.
Man, so, you know, beyond the music,
right?
You know, I always get the opportunity to ask people how, you know, you guys have created so many sounds and songs and things. And I ask about, normally I would ask, you know, what's been your crazy music creation moment? Like what inspired a joint, right? But I want to go beyond that because that's a fun question.
Mhm.
More than 15 books of various levels. You know, you founded the You're Not Alone hotline to support
Yes,
those in crisis. The thought processes, and it's not you just putting your name on it. I see you actively promoting through your platform.
absolutely.
Constantly, the messaging is consistent, the branding is consistent, the movement and the engagement is consistent at a high level. How do you take those experiences and your efforts in that and shape, how does that shape your approach to storytelling, you know, like in hip hop?
Okay, so in hip hop, that's another great question. So when I'm dealing in hip hop, I'm a total different person. In hip hop, it's totally separate from what I'm doing in my personal life. When I'm shaping things or being a part of organizations or, building something positive, what I'm doing is one, it's personal. Someone I know is affected, or, I need to be one of the champions of this cause because we need attention to this, like autism. I'm the ambassador of Leo Lion Club Foundation. And so, which target is autism.
Leo
Myself and
Lion.
Renee.
Oh my God. They just partnered with AMG Technology.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, the young school, the young brother that's running that program. I did a piece on that. Man,
Oh,
we
wow.
we kind of
That's
tied in here. Look at this.
That's
Well
crazy. That's
connected.
crazy. Yes, sir.
Yes,
But
sir.
I ended up writing a book about autism, and I have family members that are affected by that. And so I had to champion that.
Mhm.
Yana, you are not alone. That was another personal um, um, cause that I had to champion. One of my brothers who um, we used to talk almost every day.
Mhm.
And I remember this particular day, he had asked me for some money. And I told him I'll send him the money the next day. And the next day, he was unalived.
Mm.
He had killed himself. And at that moment, it felt like I failed
Mm.
because we talked. We used to talk. It was none. We were brothers. He had multiple brothers that he would talk to. But for some reason, in that moment of his life, he felt that it was over.
Mm.
And I believe if I would have stayed up with him that whole night, I believe if I would have sent him that money at that time, he probably would have been able to get gas or whatever else. And I could have rode with him home rode with him back to the city. But instead, I chose to save it to the next day.
Mm.
And I'm back to that song by the Winans, Tomorrow. Tomorrow may never come for you. You know what I'm saying? Still, we laugh and play and continue to say tomorrow. And so I had to do something to champion today. And you are not alone. Yana was the best thing to do. Where there's times that I'm up in wee hours of the night counseling individuals from doing the unmentionable, the unthinkable. You know, this is my life. I've committed my life to helping individuals realize that their life means something,
Mm.
and I'm not going to fail another person. Even if I have to stay up hours and I'm tired and I'm at work nearly passed out, at least I know his life was saved or her life was saved.
How can they get in touch with Yana? How do they reach out to Yana? How,
I will send you the information when this is over. That way we can have everything inside the packet.
Roger that. No worries.
Okay.
Want
Okay.
want to make sure that we highlight that very important
Absolutely.
aspect of what you're doing. You know, it takes someone that's considered, and bear with me, I'm long-winded on this. It takes someone that's considered to self-reflect and take accountability for their failure to act. Never put off to tomorrow what can be done today. If someone reaches out to you today and you have the ability to reach back, it is our responsibility as human beings to make that a priority. You know, understanding that oftentimes we take life for granted and that there will be an extended period. But as you can see, we're losing what I consider to be children. 34, 35 to heart attack. 29, you're a freaking Olympic athlete dropping dead. Professional athletes, elite level athletes, top physical condition, dropping dead. Being unalived in order to pass the, the word check for social media if we use this clip. We have to act now when we can. Pay attention to your fellow human being. If they reach out, is a reason. Not on some BS, oh, I need $15 to pay my light bill. Whose light bill is $15? You know what I mean? Or what did you do with that eighth money that you should have put on a bill? Do what you're supposed to do in regards to humanity, handling your business. And my boots is laced all the way up to the tip top on that one. I ain't gonna argue, I'm just gonna stand on it. And it takes someone who has gone through this mental process, the agony of dissecting themselves, to pull themselves together to be able to deliver this. And there's a process. People laugh at education. This man is a doctor of philosophy, of theology. He's got a degree in psychology, a degree in communications. Well, first of all, he had to get in touch with the spiritual self. He had to understand his mental journey. And then he had to be able to moderate the conversation that he's having with himself, inside himself. And the education helped him navigate that difficult maze, on top of dealing with a microcosm of what the world has to throw at you as a man, given the circumstances of his life. That's a lot to deal with. That's nuclear power, humanity. I'm gonna quit preaching, but I'm just gonna say, there's a reason why I picked the book To All My Loved Ones resonated to me. To All My Loved Ones, Swords of
Inspiration.
Of Inspiration is the full title. We're talking about lyrical missiles delivered in book form. Y'all don't hear me? Y'all don't hear me though. He had his own base, launched a full rack of lyrical missiles in book form, which encourages readers to tap into the inner strength. It's got key lessons in that book. And I want to know for you, if you had to pick one or two, what would be the key lessons from that particular book that resonate most with your own journey?
That is a great, let me pull this book out there. Let me go ahead and pull this book out there. For some reason, I thought I had it out. I must have misplaced it. Well, I'll say the key lessons for me, everything when it comes to Swords of Inspiration, To All My Loved Ones, everything for me has always been the self-reflecting, understanding your power. A lot of times we forget how powerful we really are. We forget our journey in life. We forget that before we got to this moment in our life, we suffered. We went through trials and tribulations that we thought we could never overcome. We were afflicted by those moments. to the point that we had fallen to one knee. But guess what? We got up. We continued to push, and we overcame it. And for me, to all my loved ones, words of inspiration, it embodies everything in regards to the journey of your struggle. What unites all human beings? Struggle. We have all been through struggle. I don't care if your struggle was great. I don't care if your struggle wasn't so great. It was still struggle, and it impacted you the same way as someone that has experienced an extreme struggle. So because of that, when you journey through that struggle, there was a tenacious spirit that arose that allowed you to overcome. And now you're here in this moment. Now that you're here in this moment, you have been trained. Life has been your training ground. So everything after that struggle should be easy. Every struggle, every hardship, every thought process, every anxiety, every self-doubt. Oh, okay, I've been here before. Watch this. Now you're a little bit more confident. You're a little bit more assured. Yeah, I've been here. I'm feeling depressed today. Oh, I got you too. Let me bob and weave on you a little bit. Let me show you this right here. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what it's all about. Life has prepared us to be able to overcome everything else. And that book to me is about reminding you of what you're capable of.
I love it. I love it. Let's get a little fun, because let's talk about what you really love. You know what I mean? You're involved, you're involved in so much, from boxing promotions to film directing. Your career's been like full of unexpected turns, my brother.
Right.
What is the one industry that you absolutely just never saw yourself in that you're now like in love with being a part of?
Directing. You know, so someone told me I couldn't direct a movie in prison. I said, So I sat back, I chilled for a minute, and in my head, I didn't say it out loud because I move in silence. I said, watch me. And sure enough, I had one of my artists who I was in a cell with, and we started talking about a movie. And I'm the type of individual, once I talk about it, I'm gonna be about it. So as we talked about it, I said, let's start filming today. He said, today? I said, yeah, today. And sure enough, we started filming.
Okay.
The movie is pretty much done. We're waiting for this other co-director to piece everything together for us. And, you know, we're going to do some of the scoring and everything else and, you know, really bring it to life. But I did it. And it may not be an extraordinary movie. You know, it may be a Tubi type of movie, but it's a movie that's done from where I'm at. You know what I'm saying?
No, please.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, okay, 1, 2, 3, you go.
So, you know, for me, I was so proud of that moment. And then when I looked at the scenes and when I looked at how the whole movie itself is improv, I tell the actors what to say, what to do, how to adjust, how to, you know, and they were just like, my community was great. Some of the scenes that we caught is amazing. How we thought outside the box, amazing, with a single cell phone. Wow. Blew me away. And then I understood how directors get so caught up in that vision because it's a canvas and you can start it from wherever you choose. You can start in the middle. You can start diagonally from the top to the bottom, however you choose. It's your canvas. And I love that right there. Go ahead, King.
No, I was enjoying listening to you. I got 2 ears, brother. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
Lord. Yes, Lord.
2 ears. I don't mind using them. You know, we as journalists have this set format and formula that we oftentimes follow when having conversations with personalities, whether they're in business or, and we oftentimes neglect to touch on the one or two key points that the other person really cares about and wants to talk about. So, and I have seen your media coverage. You've talked to just about everybody, their cat, uncle, and dog.
Absolutely.
Is there a question or a concept that we in the media have failed to give you an opportunity to expand on that you've always wanted to address?
First off, you powerful. I love these dang questions you hit me with, right? This is the truth right here. And this is what makes you extraordinary. And this is why everybody needs to be on your show. Straight up.
I'm grateful.
Is there a question? Well, nobody ever asked me about my personal life, about relationships. I would love to expound on that. As far as myself, I've been incarcerated since I was 16, 30 years. I'm 46 now. I'll be 47 in March. When I first came into the system, I was so wild and so into the life. I wasn't even thinking about marriage and, being in relationships. You a thug, you know what I'm saying? You turned up.
Right.
And so, of course you're thinking about it, but it's not like, you know what I'm saying? You're being a warrior.
Right.
And so after the 17 years of being in solitary confinement and coming out, I ended up meeting a few people, but it just never, I don't know if it's my own sensory deprivation. I don't know if it's the women that have changed, because women are masculine now. They're more masculine than feminine. And I've noticed that they don't like a masculine man. They say they want one, but they don't, because a masculine man knows what he wants. He knows who he is. He knows how to navigate. He knows how to take control. He knows when to not take control, but he knows when to take control. And I've noticed that a lot of women seem to be intimidated by that. And so this new age of women have crippled me, if you will. And I wish that women were more feminine. Oh, I wish like when I was a kid, man, they were so feminine and they were beautiful feminine, right? Now they talk to you like you talk to them. Like, what, this ain't cool, man.
We are in the age of babies raising babies.
Right.
With each successive generation, the leanings of the elders have gone by the wayside. Oh, that's old fashioned. That's old fashioned. It's old fashioned. But now they're going for anything. And the fellas is going for anything too. I'm sorry, but this is a situation that was long con that the Waiupis put in play a long time ago. You know what I mean? And
absolutely,
we're just catching up. And now it's to the point where it's in your face. If you watch the news, if you're experiencing, or you listen to your grandmama talking about her Medicare, benefits, not being able to go to the doctor or having the surgery canceled, these people are acting a fool. And I don't, anyway, it's hard.
It's so true
for them to be feminine when they're still back in survival mode.
Absolutely.
They've been the backbone of our community, uncredited mostly, ever since we got here, when it wasn't safe for a man to be a man in our community, to stand up for the family at, the risk of losing your life. You know what I mean? And it was the woman who held it together. It's okay. It's all right. And now, I think it's just natural evolution, that those that want to be feminine may overdo it. And those that want to be seen as independent, they may overdo it. Everybody got a piece of the game and went out backwards.
Right.
You either, and I'm please, I'm not judgmental, but I'm watching the young ladies on each extreme. The rump shakers that have been told that's your value.
Mm-hmm.
Guys who buy into that and support, and I support everyone doing the work that they choose to do.
Right.
It's work. You paying bills. You buying houses. You're making a difference for yourself. But the problem is that the bean counters and the suit and tie people are saying, we're going to take this section and push this heavily through the machine. We're not going to take the positive. The sister, you know, in the flower hat, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
In the three-piece business suit or attire or whatever. We're not pushing that part. We want to get them down to their bra and panties.
Right.
And strip away their power and make them and others who are witnessing it say, oh, that's what our women are about. It's part of the systemic racism.
Of course it is.
That's, you know, here in our country. And the fact that we're falling for it is an indicator of today's situation where we still are suffering from the chains and images of psychological slavery. They're telling us what field to go pick in. We bra and panty rump shaker field. We got some brilliant doctors of philosophy, educators, politicians, engineers, et cetera, that are not, and just as fine as the panty girls. Fully.
Facts.
You feel me?
Facts. Well, you said it best. You know, you got to realize that because you just broke down the Willie Lynch letter. You know, from the day that we hit the shores here, where we docked at the Port of Cuba and they sent us to Central America, and here, you know, what happened is that the goal was first to break down the rebellion. The rebellion is the fathers, the sons who had that rebellious spirit. They had to break them down in front of the mother. That way the mother could be concerned enough and possess this terror enough to make sure she inculcated in her kids that same fear, so that the male child wouldn't be strong as he would be if he wasn't affected or afflicted by the external stimuli that was presented before them. You know what I'm saying? And so that's some cold stuff right there. So now, again, they removed the chains, the shackles from our arms and from our hands and feet, but they knew they shackled our minds. Then what they did was they perverted our mothers, our grandmothers, our aunties, our cousins, all our feminine queens. They perverted them. Then still made them the head of the household, while the man was nothing more than a mule. So then here it is today. Now, a lot of the women are the head of the household, and the men have become effeminate males, feminine males. They're doing a lot of things that these white hoopies have taught them to be. Mind you, we were not pedophiles. We were not cannibals. They were burning us alive and eating us. They were cutting fetus outside of the stomach of a mother and letting it hang out. I'm reminded of a sister named something Turner. It wasn't about Nat Turner, but her husband was accused of rape. He didn't do it. They killed him. They lynched him. She spoke out. She was 8 months pregnant. Because she spoke out, they kidnapped her with a lynch mob. They took her out. They beat her. They hung her upside down, cut her belly open where the fetus came out. They stomped on the skull of the fetus, riddled her body with bullets, then cooked her and ate her. but we are the sick ones.
Mm, mm.
I don't understand this psychology of how black folks is lazy. Black folks is this. The people who taught us to kill ourselves is the same people that are proclaiming and professing to be pure and innocent. Help make that make sense.
Rest in peace, Brother X. Who taught you to hate yourself?
Come on now. The way Whoopi.
Yeah, the Whoopi. Simple.
You know, and so for me, you know, again, that's why I encourage every king and queen to possess knowledge of self. Because when you possess knowledge of self, you start to love yourself.
Mm.
You know, it's crazy because my path didn't have to turn out this way.
Right.
You know, my mother was dating a guy named Talibo Jadi when I was younger. And now Talibo Jadi was the right-hand man of Dr. Malala Karenga. And so she used to take me to the US Foundation, to the African American Culture Center. And I used to be a part of their study groups. Like I was a kid, but listening to their study groups, learning the Nguzo Saba. You know, I'm in a video when I was a kid called Kwanzaa with Dr. Malala Karenga, and I'm passing the unit. I'm drinking from the unity cup, passing it around, lighting the candles and all that. And had I stayed in that path, that probably would have changed my life. But I wish I would have embraced that consciousness back then. But back then I didn't know what I was learning. You know what I'm saying?
With that consciousness, and you talking about, you know, creating a relationship, it's already difficult to create relationships, you know, when you're behind the wall, you know what I mean? And with your understanding that you just spit, and the reality of the changes in the feminine psyche, I cannot say in total, but on a very large scale, you know, because that's what we see. You know, that's the part that was promoted.
Right.
More heavily.
Right.
How do you, as a brother with these limitations, create, shape, and mold a relationship that can be long lasting? There's special challenges, obviously the distance and proximity, et cetera, but connecting mentally. I always wanted a woman to fuck me in the mind first and then get the rest of me. You know what I mean?
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
I want to be, you know, I'm speaking
yes,
my
Lord.
language. I mean, that's...
No, I totally get it. You know, listen, a dumb female is a female that ain't worth my time. All that makes me want to do is just all skeet and keep on going, right? But an individual that really knows how to seize my mind, who knows how to grasp my attention and, you know, keeps me at the edge of my seat. That is the one that's going to really have my mind. It's going to have my eye. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, don't get me wrong. I would like an attractive woman, but if she's not attractive, but she has my mind, she's going to have me. You know what I'm saying? You know, and that's a fact, you know, and that's another thing. Where did it, and this is going to be a very touchy subject, but when did it happen that unattractive people move as if they're attractive and come at you as if they're attractive?
It's called self-love. And everybody,
okay,
that's the move.
That's what we're gonna say then, because that just blows me away.
You know,
when a person believes that they're a 10 and they know they're not a 10, but they'll come at you as if they're a top tier individual in a relation or for you, and they're not even nothing.
But see, here's the situation. And this is, you know, where people's thinking about themselves has been elevated.
Right.
Beauty is literally in the eye of the beholder. I don't care.
I agree.
I look at this person and say, oh, they got gator feet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
seen some.
They done seen some shit. They've been rode hard and put away wet. I mean, it doesn't matter because they've been shamed and put down for physical appearance, and they also have had to do the imposter syndrome test and naked, and each achievement, each quality that they possess, that's a positive and meet to man and nature and community, put on a garment until they get to their And so when you get to your crown and understand that you are a asset, not an ass on the set, to steal a word from, you know, the OG Kokane. You feel?
Yes, Lord. Shout out to my big bro.
Hey, when you realize that, you can step different, and you do step different, and it becomes more about my value and beauty as a human, as opposed to my outward appearance. Because in the bottom line, you know what? In the dark, in the bump and grind, the result is the same, regardless of whether it's a Gila monster or a stallion. The question is, are they beautiful in the dark? When you close your eyes, are they beautiful? Do they make you?
Well, I'm mostly talking about the ones that are not so beautiful in the dark as well. Like, I've noticed that. I'm just saying. I'm talking about the ones that when the lights go off, you hear.
Oh my God! Oh, I can't join you. I got too many female listeners. I got too many female supporters.
Okay.
I cannot.
No, and listen. I'm not saying. No, what I mean by that though is this: is that I've met individuals that were females who weren't as appealing, but they come with this top tier mentality that's unappealing. And so that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
When you're coming with a top tier mentality, that as if you're conceited and you it's your honor to have me. What do you mean? You have 3 kids, you have 2 baby daddies or 3 baby daddies. You're struggling at home. You know, you don't have a job. What makes you top tier? What makes you the one? Nothing. You're not that appealing physically, and then now you're not that appealing emotionally, intelligently, or intelligent. There's nothing there because you're living in your own delusion, and something or someone has created an illusion for a lot of people out there, men and women alike, as if they are top tier, and that is the problem right now. People need to be more humble these days. Like, listen, I don't go around talking about, hey, I got this, you should love me. No, not at all. Like, real talk, I'm an individual that I'm definitely emotionally intelligent. 2, I'm an individual that I really care. You know, if you're looking for conversation, I come with the conversation. You know, the problem is that a lot of women are so used to being treated as just meat that they're not looking to be loved. And especially in this day and age, they're so used to being treated like porn stars, because I can get the naked pictures all day. I can get the videos all day. But what about you? Who are you? And there's no consistency in the value. They'll speak a great game, but then once you go beyond that, there's no substance. And that's been my problem dealing with a lot of women these days.
Man, somebody expand this brother's circle. I know they got pen pals, R-Us for prisoners, dating sites for prisoners. You look, somebody expand this brother's
Por favor.
Por favor. Like, you know what I mean? Because he's obviously hasn't been guided into the right circle. So I just, you know, and also I'm just going to speak my piece. Some of y'all, and I don't generalize, I cannot, I'm incapable of generalizing about men or women or races for that matter. But, you know, oftentimes when someone is in a captive situation, the person who's not will push the envelope as to what is right and wrong, what is decent, and how they should approach the other person. Because both of y'all in an ugly situation. One is physical, the other is physical too. That's a metaphor. Y'all think about
Hmm.
it. Anyway, I want to end on a really good note. And I want to know, what's next from the mind of Monsta Yo. I saw a program, anti-violence program that you're pushing, that you're co-signing. Let's talk about
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we have I believe Terry Terry make something, I forgot, I'm sorry. And Ice Cube has put together this documentary called Put the Guns Down. And we're all for that, man, because that's what's going to save our youth, And so we wanted to do this movement because we're tired of seeing our kids or this generation, go down the same path as their predecessors. You know what I'm saying? And so we said, what can we do? You know what I'm saying? To have an active movement to, become a trend. And that put the guns down movement has become the next thing to battle gun violence, gang violence, and everything else in between. We want to remove this psychosis of we have to commit genocide to be tough. I'm so, you just don't understand how frustrated I am because I'm a part of that genocide. I'm a part of that culture that started that. And now I'm doing my best to change that. It's time to put the guns down. It's time to start thinking about your future. Tomorrow's not promised, but the present is beautiful. And we need to live our best life and stop just existing. When you're a part of a gang, when you're a part of the gang mentality, I should say, when you have that sickness in your brain, what happens is that you're short-lived because all you see is that tunnel vision. You don't see the future beyond that. You don't see what's beyond your demographic, what's beyond your geography. There's a whole world beyond your geography. There's a Himalayas. There's a Serengeti. There's an Africa. There's a Cuba. Like, come on now. You ain't never experienced this. But what you're doing is believing that your life is supposed to be dedicated to standing at the street corner, standing at the liquor store, standing at some spot you do not even own. They've started to gentrify all our communities. You don't even live there, but you claiming that. Think about that.
Hey.
And then you want to hurt each other. When somebody dies, the next man from the rival starts gloating about it. He, ya, ha, ha. You should be ashamed of yourself. Because what if that next person did that to your homie? You should be ashamed of yourself. Because that could be your family member that you're close to.
Sometimes it is.
Sometimes it is.
You know what I mean? And you know what? Look, it's crazy. You know what I mean? You getting into it with another section. And 3 of them was at your grandmama's house for Thanksgiving.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God, man.
You know what I mean? But everybody moving with the party politic and don't even understand the underlying issues.
Exactly.
Homeboy mess with homeboy's his woman. And now we got whole hood wars. That's real.
And now these days it's internal.
Feel me?
Now homies killing homies.
See,
you know what I'm saying? And so this is a
trip
thing.
on your own set though, homie. I'm not even like
it's called retarded. Bro. That's what that's called. It's called retarded. If your claim to fame is beating up your homies, setting up your homies, knocking your homies, you retarded. You straight retarded. You know what I'm saying? And I'm the one to say it. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I'm gonna tell you guys this. Me personally, I'm not afraid to die. You know what I'm saying? Especially to save my community. Especially to, one second. Especially when it comes to saving my community, I'm not afraid to die. I want to save these kids. I want to make sure that, there's a future and a possibility that I didn't have. I do not want them to return to my situation or come to my situation and find themselves miserable for the rest of their life. This is not the place to be. There's no glorifying this. You know, the crazy thing about prison and in the streets is this. Every individual out there that's set tripping on the streets, that's killing each other, they're the coldest gang member, everything else, all that stuff dies out once you come to prison. When you come to prison, you're one.
Yeah.
You're one.
Ride with the uniform.
Real talk. So you might have a rival that done killed your homie, and y'all in the same cell together. And y'all eating together. Y'all breaking bread together. Y'all protecting each other together. But yet you go out and do the same stuff. The psychology is it's crazy. It's crazy.
If you could put it on hold doing the bid.
Thank you.
Put it on hold walking the street on the turf. You feel me?
Thank you.
Thank you. You know, like, I don't want to preach because everybody don't need to know everything about everybody.
Right.
Just promise you, though. I could just promise you that I have traveled the world and been on location with a rival, but it's about survival.
Mm-hmm.
It's about a uniform. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Because the Wahopis is riding with the uniform.
Mm-hmm.
And they penalizing people for stepping outside the community. Y'all know what's up. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, you thought you was cool on the street, but they ain't riding with that inside like that. So, and it's just dead ass. That's what it is. I don't represent, at my age, I'm not representing the section. But I have bailed through and kicked up dust way back when.
Right.
The philosophy doesn't change. The reality doesn't change. That we're doing this to ourselves. You're doing it to yourself over some things you don't even understand that started way before you were born. You feel me? That have translated into a money-making machine, mostly for the Wahopis. From film to music to AI to technology, they get us to front and beard for them, but reap the most reward and benefit. And now they're doing it in our face. All you got to do is, like I said earlier, watch the news and listen to your grain. And folks that didn't think they was going to get affected. Yeah, we sitting this one out, y'all. Anyway, bro, it's been an honor.
Likewise.
Time with you, you know what I mean? From someone who has walked the walk, met themselves, dealt with themselves, and now has opened their heart and mind to the outside world, those that they see that need the guidance, that need the lessons that you were missing coming up. The ability to navigate and understand when you're being served misinformation on a cultural scale. He's an OG. But Dr. Monsta Yo is a fucking man. Not a question. Boots laced up to the tip top on that. Mimi,
amen.
You don't like it. You heard me?
You feel me?
All right, man. Hype Magazine live sessions, Dr. Monsta Yo.
Well, say that last part again.
Dr. Monsta Yo.
Man, thank you. I appreciate that. Appreciate that.
I appreciate you as well.
Yes, sir.
Hype Magazine live sessions. We out of here.
Yes, Lord. Peace.
As an artist, we should reflect the time.
Why you so talented?
Cause I'm black.
Why you so amazing?
Cause I'm black.
It's really important that we build characters so that people understand their story matters.
2 Chainz and I both are just really into good food.
And when you know you are royalty, you will only aim in life to be royalty.
We're doing it right now. I don't give a damn what they say about me. Yes, I called your ass out. I know I shouldn't be saying this kind of.
Shout out to Hype Magazine Network.
Shout out to the Hype Magazine Network.